स्वराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते. Hari Om Tat Sat. We will do the Kathopanishad Shanti Patha and then start. Om Sahana Vavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Only adjust the repeat chanting बेस और ट्रेबल दोनों कम करना है. वो मिक्सर में है जो रिपीट चैंटर्स है ना, उनका बेस ट्रेबल दोनों ही थोड़ा कट कर देना, कम कर देना. डोंट चेंज द मेन माइक अनलेस देयर इज हमिंग, अदरवाइज ऑल्सो. So I will repeat the two shlokas. You should repeat with following me. The one is the 18, where Yamaraja is trying to describe the Atma, and 20, that Anoraniyam. These two we will do. Na jayate mriyate. No, some trouble is still there. You can reduce the bass and treble in the main amplifier. Little. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित्.
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्.
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्.
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो.
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो.
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
अणोरणीयान् महतो महीयान्.
अणोरणीयान् महतो महीयान्.
आत्म Atmasya jantornihito guhayam.
Atmasya jantornihito guhayam.
Tamakratuh pashyati vitashoko.
Tamakratuh pashyati vitashoko.
Dhatu prasadan mahimanamatmanaha.
Dhatu prasadan mahimanamatmanaha.
So here we were that Anoho Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Atma Asya Jantor Nihito Guhayam. He says that this Atma is subtler than the subtlest, smaller than the smallest, and bigger than the biggest. All contradictory terms, because it is not to be found anywhere in the objective field, anywhere in the universe. We should remember that. So any of the descriptions, the objective description will not be valid. So generally the Shastras speak in terms of the contradictory terms, so that we have to think and get at the truth. But at the same time, such a thing, such a strange thing which is not found anywhere in the world, it is not a thing, it is what we are, our own identity. But he says that then is it, how can we find it? How can we discover it? There is still a shinshi sound I am hearing. Something has to be adjusted there. I cannot do it going there now. He says, no, it is the easiest, because Asya Jantor Guhayam Nihitaha. It is very well kept in the cavern. I said that this Guha, Shastras repeatedly use that the Atma is to be found in the Hrit Guha and Buddhi Guha. Both are used. Sometimes Hrit Guha, sometimes Buddhi Guha, and sometimes only Guha. Because it is not apparently seen. We have to investigate and we have to follow the direction of the rishis to discover this Atma. Hrid Guha is the central point of our emotional being, emotional part of our being. That is why it is called the Hrid Guha. That is where from the I feeling is coming. It is right there, it is right within. But because we are associating with that I various parameters, coordinates of the body-mind complex, we are missing it. But it has to be found in that only. Similarly, Buddhi Guha means which is the center of our understanding. That where from the intelligence is coming, where from the understanding is coming, that also we have to go into, investigate and finally discover. Now the discovery, the easiest form of discovery, as all the Shastras say, is surrender. Because what is this? As long as we are trying to discover, our effortfulness is there, it is not possible to discover it. Because by that effort, we are making us small. Our small egoistic identity is reinforced further. So until that reinforcement is depleted, it is completely eliminated, and we completely surrender to that ultimate truth, that discovery is not, it doesn't happen. So you will find that in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also they have discussed so many things, what is yoga, how to get to that yoga, what is samadhi, etc. But after that they are saying that Ishvara pranidhanatva. You do all these things, struggle with it, or you simply surrender to the Lord, surrendering to the ultimate truth. So we should remember that in our dhyana sadhana also, finally this surrender is extremely important, because this ego is making us always small, and more we put the effort. Initially that effort is essential, because our mind, our everything, time is taken away by the world, by the worldly attraction and repulsion. Unless we apply our intelligence, vichara, effort, everything, that mind will not come away from the worldly attraction and repulsion and get into the truth. So it is essential. But finally this effort itself becomes an hindrance. So there, this effortfulness, egoistic effortfulness has to be dropped. We have to surrender and get at the truth. Now, we were discussing with this how one gets at it. Tamakratuh pashyati vita shokaha dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. When a person becomes desireless, and all the desires, even the slightest desires, hiding deep inside, deep within, they are all cleared, they are all removed, then the universality, the infinitude of our identity becomes apparent, and that itself makes us vita shokaha. The shokaha goes only that. Dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. And he then realizes the glory of the Atma, because they are trying to say Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, or it is unattached, it is untainted, it doesn't have birth, it doesn't have death, it is beyond time, it is beyond causality. These are all the Mahima of the Atma we are trying to describe. But it will not become real for us until we realize this as our own identity. So, for that, this dhatu prasada is very important. Dhatu means of which our being is made, the elements with which our being is made. So, this purification is the ultimate process. Truly speaking, the pure mind itself is the self, is the ultimate self. So this dhatu prasadat means by the placidity of our being, by the elements of our being. Elements means the emotional part of our being, the intelligential part of our being, our thoughts, everything. By the purification of that, the glory of the Atma is understood. The last day I had also said that in Chandogya, in the same story where Sanat Kumara is giving Upadesha to Narada, there itself it is there. At one point, Narada is asking, Saha kasmin pratishtitaha, Bhagavan saha kasmin pratishtitaha iti. Where is this Atma seated? Then in reply, Sanat Kumara is saying, Sve Mahimni. Sve Mahimni. That means in his own glory. You cannot describe it by any objective glory, like the Himalayas, like the Kailasa, anything, any real gross object, or any imaginary concept, or any thought process, any name, any identity, nothing. No glory can express it, because it is not in the objectude at all. We should understand. So he says, Sve Mahimni. Its glory is its own glory, and that is its establishment. It cannot be established anywhere else. Then that will be the truth. The ultimate truth, the absolute truth. If it also has to have some platform, then that platform is becoming more fundamental. This truth is the substratum, is the platform for everything else. Of the whole universe appears on this. And it is to be known by its own glory. Saying that, the beauty of our Shastras is that, saying that Sve Mahimni Yadivana Mahimniti. He said it is Sve Mahimni, his own glory. But then he is saying, or may not be, Yadivana Mahimniti. Because we are saying it Mahimni means in his own glory, we are saying about his glory, but all these are objective expression. All these are conceptual. We are saying his own glory. That is also a thought, an expression, a concept. This truth is such that it is revealing all the objects, revealing all the concepts, revealing all the thoughts, but it is neither of them at all. So, I always revel in these expressions. Sve Mahimni Yadivana Mahimni iti. Sanat Kumara says. I don't know whether you can appreciate it, how much you can appreciate. See, these Upanishadic slokas The beauty of it is when we read, or if possible, if we chant, and particularly if we can chant in a bhava-oriented manner with a certain tune and all, then it will have a direct effect on our being. It will purify our whole being. So just by chanting properly also we can get great benefit from the Upanishads. But the fact is that this Upanishadic sadhana is generally meant for a certain fitness of the sadhak. So we generally say, Shankaracharya says that it is not that he has practiced enough of puja, worship, etc. Not like that. If he has done yaga jajna, or if he has done lot of worship, lot of meditation, the effect of all that is the more important. If somebody doing worship, performing worship, doing meditation has got those effects, or somebody otherwise has got those effects, it doesn't matter. The effects are the main thing to make one fit for absorbing the Upanishadic teaching. What are the sadhana chatushtaya? We have discussed quite a lot about it. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shadga Sampatti, Mumuksha. These are the sadhana chatushtaya they are called. That is the fourfold pursuit or fourfold virtues or qualities. That is the necessity criterion for absorbing Upanishadic knowledge. Truly speaking, actually the realization also is the peak of the sadhana chatushtaya. Suppose Vairagya. Where is the limit of Vairagya? We must have a certain amount of Vairagya so that the world is not disturbing me. The likes and dislikes about the worldly objects, they are not disturbing me. That much of Vairagya you have to have by the time you go ahead with the sadhana. But what is the parakashthar, what is the peak, the pinnacle of this Vairagya? I always say that the peak of Vairagya is the self itself, the soul itself, the Atma itself, the Brahman itself. Why? Because it doesn't get touched by anything at all in this world. It reveals everything. It reveals sukha, it reveals dukkha, it reveals beauty, it reveals ugliness, it reveals fear, it reveals bhranti, means falsehood, it reveals ajnana, it reveals jnana, everything. Nothing can be revealed without that. It is revealing everything but not getting touched or affected by anything that it reveals. There lies the Vairagya. This is the definition of real meaning of Vairagya. That means more and more Vairagya we grow, we will also become like that. We will be sympathetic, we will shed profuse tears, we will laugh, we will smile, we will love, we will be sometimes maybe fearful also, but not getting affected by anything at all. Nothing will affect us. So all that is happening, it will all become like a film. I mean, it's just like a drama. It will go on playing on us. We will be the witness to that, not getting affected by anything at all. This is the purpose of Upanishadic pursuit or any spiritual pursuit. Who will not like to have such impersonal dimension? Anybody would like to have? So, this sadhana chatushtaya, as they grow, more and more viveka as we grow. Viveka means, I will explain again, viveka as it grows, it will definitely, it should give rise to Vairagya. If the viveka has not given rise to Vairagya, then we don't call it viveka. In English we may call it discrimination, no harm. But our Shastras will not say it is viveka. Viveka means it must increase the Vairagya in us, because if we have understood that what is permanent, what is impermanent, what is auspicious, what is inauspicious, why should again run after the impermanent? We should not. If you have really understood, we should not. As Swamiji says, you are given a glass of water. Suddenly you come to know that there is poison in it. Will you drink the water? You will not. As long as you did not know, there was a possibility of drinking. If it's a mild poison, you will go on drinking if it is sweet. The poison also can be very sweet. But once you come to know that it is poison, Of course, people do it even then when they know that they will not die out of that poison, they go on, like smoking and all. But if it is a very serious poison, nobody is going to drink. Similarly, when we really understand that there is nothing to be had from the world, that means why are we looking for other things to become happy? When we really understand that nothing from the world can make us permanently happy, and I am looking for permanent happiness, the ultimate, then why should we expect happiness from there? We can do everything, we can enjoy everything, we can have dukkha, we can have sukha, but never getting deluded that anything in the world is going to make us happy. Only where will be the happiness? Happiness is right there. You will be happy with your Atma, and with that happiness, that is why it is called prasada. Prasada means in that happiness, in that placidity, sukha, dukkha, both will dance. In dukkha also that placidity will be there. This is what the Atma is. Now, when we study the Upanishad, we have to present it for people listeners of different levels, sadhakas of different levels. So, we try to give some practical meaning of the Upanishadic term. Suppose I will take an example. When it is said, what is Viveka? Right in the beginning, we have to know sadhana chatushta, so Viveka. What is Viveka? It is defined as Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. That is the discrimination between what is permanent and what is impermanent. What is Nitya, permanent, and what is Anitya, impermanent. Now, I can say very certainly that seldom anybody wants to know what is Nitya. Nitya, as I said, Nitya means permanent. I have repeatedly said that nothing in the world is permanent, not your body, nothing you can get from the world can be permanent, because the very fundamental basis of Srishti, of creation, is Anityata, is movement. That is why we call it Jagat, Gacchati iti Jagat, it is always moving. Samyak sarati iti samsara. Samsara means it is always drifting. That is the very basis of creation, because creation, from there, everything is causal, everything is changeful. So where is the permanent there? So normally a sadhak in the beginning stage, he cannot look for a permanent. How can he? First of all, he has to understand that the Atma he is looking for, which we are saying immortal, permanent, etc., it cannot be found anywhere in the universe. It is not in the objective field. It is our own identity, and we have to understand what is that real identity. So, suppose a sadhak who is beginning, who loves to become pure, who wants to do the sadhana, how do we explain Viveka to him? So, what we do is that in Kathopanishad, beautifully it is distinguished that there is something called Shreyas and something called Preyas. Preyas means what is immediately pleasant, but that it is fulfilling for our in sense organs and partly mind also. Even fame and appreciation, love, etc., they will be immediately fulfilling. But they will not take us on the path of the auspicious goal. That is called prayas. Whereas Shreyas, which may immediately be a little difficult also, we may not like it, but it will keep us on the auspicious track. It will take us towards the auspicious goal. So, in our life, always nature is coming before us with these two baskets, Shreyas and Preyas. And it is for us to choose. Nature may bring it to us with various reasons. We don't know what is the reason. We may be responsible for it, the world may be responsible for it. Whatever the reason, every moment of life we have the choice to be made, and that choice is ours. Nature is placing before us, this is Shreyas, this is Preyas. You define, you decide which way you would like to go. Now, Kathopanishad says that adhiraha, a wise person, Please always choose the Shreyas in preference to the Preyas. And a Mandaha who is not wise, he will choose the Preyas because it is immediately gainful. Now naturally people ask then, Swamiji, how can we know what is Shreyas and what is Preyas? Well, we can know, provided we want to know. What we have to do is look within. It's a thumb rule I am giving. In any moment of life where we have to take the decision, and if I am a sadhak, we have to take the decision we have to take the path of the Shreyas. This is the way. Look within into your mind and see, you do the thought experiment that there are A option and B option. I am taking A and I am taking B. What is the reaction within? Suppose by taking the path B, I will get lot of money, I will get lot of prestige, position, but there is some shrinking taking place in my mind that no, it may not be the path of righteousness. I may have to do something on that path which is not approved. So what will happen? You look within and you will find that there is a heaviness in the mind, there is a lack of strength in the mind, there is a constriction in the mind is becoming small. Say, whenever we do anything wrong, why do we do wrong? Out of greed, out of desire. Otherwise, why should we do wrong normally? But when we are doing something wrong, maybe externally we are gaining many things out of that. But in heart of heart, we will know that I am not doing the right thing. So there will be a lack of strength, a weakness, a constriction, contraction. There will be a heaviness inside. That will tell you that this is not the path for me. It is not the path of Shreyas. Whereas if you see that by taking the path of A, maybe I have to struggle a lot and I may lose something. There are risks for losing many things. I may have to go against the government also. I may have to go against some other powerful people which I am afraid of facing. Many things may happen. But still, something in the mind, deep inside, deep within the heart is telling me, giving me the strength, giving me the lightness, giving me an expansion that I am ready to even sacrifice my life for it, for this cause. I am ready to sacrifice my life. That kind of, any noble act people were doing like this only. There will be a great power, and that is why in the beginning, in the Shanti Mantra, we are finding Tejasvina, what is that? Sahanavavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai. While explaining sahaviryam karavavahai, I said that what is this virya? Look into Kathopanishad. Virya means atmana vindate viryam. So the real strength comes from the Atma. That whenever we are getting connected to the Atma, getting anchored in the Atma, we are coming closer to the Atma, our whole being will resonate with the power, with the courage, with virya. That is the virya. So the choice is not so difficult. We can make the choice like that. Now what I was trying to explain is that in explaining these Upanishads, if you take the ultimate level, it may not be that relevant for us for any standard of our seeking. But definitely it can be useful. We can make it useful by remaining on the path. So I said that we may not look for the permanent, because permanent is not real to us. Permanent is too far away. It is talking about something not available in the world. But can we not look for which is more permanent and which will take me to Shreyas, which will not be prayers but taking us to shreyas. This discrimination we can do. What is that discrimination? That is the same viveka. The viveka which will at the last level, ultimate level, which will tell us which is permanent and which is impermanent. As I am trying to explain repeatedly, the permanent is nowhere in the world. It cannot be, because the Srishti by itself is impermanent. The permanent only is the witness in the revealer of the Srishti, revealer of the world. The world is appearing in that consciousness, the Atma, the Paramatma, the Brahman, that is the only permanent. Now, looking for that, shunning all impermanence, that may take place at a very advanced level of sadhana. But any beginner, any point of time, must look for what is more. He should always opt for the shreyas, opt for the more permanent one. Suppose anything that satisfies our taste or anything of indriyas, of our sense organs, that is very immediate, and by the time, suppose you like ice cream, you take the ice cream, when the ice cream is over, the joy you are getting is over. Or suppose you go on taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, will you be able to enjoy anymore? You will start vomiting, you will not like to have any more at all. So it is very short-lived. The taste of ice cream, whatever joy it is giving you, is very short-lived. Whereas if you suppose feed others, those who are not getting the same ice cream, let us say you feed the children who have never tasted ice cream, rather than taking yourself, you feed the children. Then what will happen? You will get a great joy. Now this joy is not a sense organ joy. You are not getting this joy in your tongue, because you are not tasting the ice cream, you are giving ice cream to others. So where is the joy coming from? It's in the mind. It is coming from sharing. By any sharing we do, what happens to us? Our person identity becomes, it expands, our mind expands. Because I am feeling for somebody else. I am not feeling only about myself. I am identifying with some more people. So naturally my identity, my personality has extended to that level. So there is an expansion. That expansion is giving us joy. And thinking of it, any time you can get the joy. Suppose you had made this sacrifice one day, feeding some people. Whenever you think of it, you will get that joy, that, oh, they were not getting anything, we could help, something like this. You will get the joy even then also. So is it not more permanent than eating ice cream, tasting ice cream? So our viveka will tell us always what is more permanent. And it will definitely be in the subtler level of mind and intelligence. It will not be in the sensory level. So as we progress on the field of viveka, naturally we will opt for more and more of internal joys than the sensory joy and all. Automatically it will take place. If you have understood where lies the joy, naturally it will take place. So their life will become more and more internal. Not only that, once you understand the joy of expansion by sharing things, by working with people, foregoing your ego. Generally while working with people also, our ego becomes very strong. Humne ye bola, I have told this, I have not told that, he did it, I did not do it. All these things happen. So actually your ego is getting more reinforced, more consolidated. Suppose in working together you sacrifice your ego, you sublimate your ego, not sacrifice, sublimate your ego. And you really work together jointly for a common cause, for some noble cause. You will find, you will get so much of joy. All those who are working in our volunteers level and all, what are they doing? They are helping in the process of knowledge distribution for the people, and most of them are unknown to us. They are not our relative, our son, our daughter, or our parents and grandparents. They are anywhere in the world. We don't know them also, even who are all getting benefited. But the moment we come to know somebody, at least one person is getting benefited, so much of joy we get. Similarly, the volunteers who are helping in the process also in a team, they get so much of joy in working in the team. Only thing is that your ego has to be sublimated. That's all. And ego will get more and more sublimated as you get the joy of it. What will happen? This joy will make you win over your constrictions, egoistic choices, likes and dislikes more and more. Every time you win over this likes and dislikes and your constrictions, you will get the joy of victory, joy of expansion. So the viveka will be, the discrimination here will be to choose the path where always we feel an internal expansion, a path of expansion. Because what is the soul finally? The soul is infinitude. It has no limit at all. It has no space, time limit even. It is beyond all limitations. So the more we expand, are we not coming closer and closer to the soul? So we need not really think of the self, that I have to become self-realization. By thinking that, nothing will happen. We need not think. We only remain on the path of expansion, path of sublimation, path of embracing the whole world. And that way our ego gets expanded, and we come closer and closer to the soul. Even if you don't become self-realized, it doesn't matter at all. The path becomes the real joy. The path becomes joyful. We don't have to worry about the goal even. There need not be any goal. The path itself is so fulfilling, so joyful, that every time, every moment, you feel the joy of expansion, the joy of loving everybody, the joy of loving people whom you do not know at all. So much of joy will fill you that you will never worry about whether I have become self-realized or not, whether I want to become self-realized or not. Nothing. It just fulfills us. So that is why in the Rig Veda we have Charaiveti, Charaiveti. Charaiveti means in moving is our life. Life means moving. It's not reaching one goal, but it's moving on the path of expansion. Charaiveti. It is always a moving on the path of expansion, path of sublimation, path of depleting, the path of attenuating all the constrictions, all the egoistic pressure, tension, anxiety, everything. So this is how we can take the Upanishadic verses. Even if we find it difficult to conceive the ultimate. But I am trying to put the ultimate in a manner that if you follow the rationality of this vichara, you will be definitely guided to have a real idea of where we have to go and what is the self. Because generally people are always deluded by thinking of the self in terms of objects, that Atma is here in this body, it is going from here to there. That means it is moving. It is not the permanent, it is not beyond space, beyond time at all. Past in time, back in time, it was here in this body. Now it has gone to another body or another loka or somewhere else. That means it is just like the objects moving from here to there. That is not the Atma we speak about in spirituality. Such an Atma, or we call it Jiva, might be there, it is different form, but it's not for spirituality to find out that. In spirituality, the Atma we are speaking of, shloka after shloka in any Upanishad, anywhere you find, it is always speaking in these terms, that it does not have hand, feet, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't get touched by anything, it doesn't move. Everything, all these descriptions, should we not do some vichara to understand where do we have to, what is our real identity? And when we understand this identity, you will get so fulfilled, because all our trouble in life is coming from the smallness of our identity. The moment we find that I am separate from others and I have to get something from the world, then all the superiority, inferiority, greed, jealousy, himsa, all these things are coming from that separate identity. So when we become infinite and one and beyond one, transcendental identity, all the troubles will go. I remember, suddenly I remembered an incident in our young days. I believe in some scientific conference or so, scientists have come from all over the world, and one Tata Institute of Fundamental Research scientist who was working in the space science, some discussion was going on about our normal activities and other things, not about science, about general discussion. So he came out with a beautiful proposal. He said that, I think if everybody is sent to the space for a year or so, the world will not have any problem. It's only imaginary, but what I am saying is there is a truth in it. Suppose you are in the family, you fight with your brothers and others and parents and all that. So when you go away from the family, then you will find that for the family you have developed an ownership or ownness, and if anybody says anything wrong about your family, then you will get very annoyed and agitated. Suppose you are in a state, when you leave that state and go to another state, then you will find that you have developed a feeling for your own state, and if anybody says bad about your state, you don't like it. That means the identity has grown to the state level. Suppose you have gone from India to USA or so, then the whole of India becomes your country. So the identity has increased now to India. And if anybody speaks anything bad about India, then you feel bad. If they speak well about India, you feel good. That means the identity has increased to the country level, national level. That is how this man said that when we go out in the spaceship and look from there at our earth, the blue earth there, from the space vehicle, he said, oh, that is the earth I belong to. You don't think you belong to US, you belong to India, you belong to Africa, but that is our earth, we belong to that earth. So the identity will increase to that level. There is a truth in it, always it happens like that. So, everywhere it lies in expansion. So the path to be chosen is to looking within and find out which path will give you expansion, that will take you nearer to the soul, nearer to the Atma, nearer to the real identity. Now, we were talking about the purity, how that dhatu prasadat, that the purification of our elements of our being, we understand the mahima of the soul. Now, this purity actually will, generally speaking, we will say it is removing all the desires, removing the ragadvasha, etc. Like that we think. But finally, the purity, if we generalize, it is actually finding a unity in diversity. That is the varieties, when they meet, when you transcend the variety and reach a unity, then it is purer. Purer means the variety is less, so your likes and dislikes, everything is less. Correspondingly, the fragmentation of our being is less. So, to say that, I was discussing about Narada, Sanat Kumara's Upadesha to Narada. This comes at the end of this Narada Sanat Kumara Upakhyana in Chandogyopanishad. At the end shloka, it's part of the shloka, part of the mantra, where he is saying, Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi, sattva shuddhau dhruvasmritihi, smritilambhe sarvagranthīnām vipramokṣah. Tasmai mridita kashayaya tamasah param darshayati sanat bhagavan sanat kumaraha. This is there in the shloka. This is not the entire mantra. This is a part of the mantra which we need. What does it say? The first statement is Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva means just that dhatu, same. Sattva means the being, our personality, you can say, of which the personality is made of. So if the food is purified, ahar normally means food. Food is purified, then That is the input to our personality, then the personality will become purified. Now here I said last day also that ahara is not only taking food through the mouth, but whatever input we get, that is ahara. So to become pure, we have to change all our inputs. Here the sadhana becomes down to earth sadhana. You cannot say that how Swamiji, how to do. Simply everything is spoken of in the Bhagavad Gita, that tamoguna has to be won over by a combination of sattva-guna, rajoguna. Rajoguna has to be won over by sattva-guna practice. And sattva-guna has to be won over by surrendering to the Lord. The whole is given. The step-by-step method is given. Now, initially, what do you have to do? Seeing your rajoguna predominance and tamoguna predominance, you have to incorporate sattvic gunas, so that you become prominently sattva-guni. Then, I am not going into this guna details. Sattva-guna enhances means you will be able to understand things rightly, jnana will come, illumination will come, so it will be able to guide you on the proper path. Now here what we want to discuss is, ahara means input. Now generally, what are the inputs? Let us think, try to follow me. There is nothing difficult in it, it is absolutely easy. Don't say that it is Swamiji is all, it is going beyond our head and all. It's not like that at all. Just simply keep your mind open and listen, it will be very easy. All the, generally bhoga we say, bhoga we generally translate as enjoyment. But truly speaking, bhoga means experience, because we have sukha bhoga, dukkha bhoga. Whether we enjoy or suffer, both are bhogas. So, truly speaking, bhoga means experience. Now, we have the 5 sense organs. With that, we are taking the vishayas. Vishaya means all the elements. What is that? Shabda, sparsha, drishya, gandha, rupa, gandha and rasa. All those 5 elements we are absorbing. They are the inputs for our indriyas. That is, our sense organs, say the ears, they are experiencing the shabda, the sound. The ears are experiencing the sound. Eyes are experiencing the vision. Nose experiencing the smell, like that. All the 5 senses are experiencing something. Now this shuddhi, when we say ahara shuddhi, it works in 2 levels. What? One is the external level, which we can call also gross level, although it is not always gross. Listening to music, listening to shabda, etc. They are not gross really, but external things are relatively gross. So they are the external level, we can say. There, first of all, we have to purify. So the 17th chapter clearly says that what is the food for the sattvika people? Rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priyaha. So they have clearly demarcated how to increase the sattva guna in our being by changing our food into sattvika ahara. So those food which we are taking and which we find that it is causing rajoguna effect or tamoguna effect. See, very simply spoken, these 3 effects are sattva means yoga, and raja means bhoga, and tama means moha. These 3 words you can always remember. What is that? Yoga, bhoga and moha. Yoga means connected to our soul, ultimate soul, connected to illumination, enlightenment. So the more sattva guna you inherit, you imbibe, you will be able to stay in yoga more and more. may not be in the final yoga, but at least on the path of yoga, you will be remembering the truth and where lies my goal. That is also a yuktata, that is also a yoga. The more and more sattva guna means you will be able to understand in situation what will take me to Shreyas. Bhagavad Gita says that in all the sense organs, as if a knowledge, illumination comes out of sattva guna. That is, the sense organs will be able to know what is good for me, what is nutritious for me. Suppose a food is given, you will not be guided by the lobha, by the taste only. That is the rajoguna. When the sattva guna is enhanced, you will not always go by the taste and, oh, you like to take this very much. Seeing the food, you will know that whether it is nourishing for me or not. Seeing the food, you will know, no, it has become stale, it is tamasic for me. Or it is very exciting, masala and all, it is spiced too much and all, it will be exciting, I may like the taste, but it will cause agitation in my mind, distraction in my mind. So, once we have rid our tongue out of the greed for taste and other things, what we like, etc., clinging to that, and also correspondingly dislike. Suppose the bitter things you don't like to take because it is not good for your taste. There also you will be able to understand, although it is bitter, it is going to be good for me. It's not just by the knowledge, you will seeing the things, we will understand if the sattva guna is predominant. So initially Bhagavad Gita is speaking about ahara there in 17th chapter in terms of the food we are taking, at least beginning we can take in that sense. But now you expand the whole ahara in all the 5 sense organs. That is, whatever we are seeing in the internet, in the film, in the world, are they really sattvika? Or I am trying to enjoy the bhoga, rajasika type of bhoga or tamasika type of bhoga. Whatever we are listening to, the music or the drama or the conversation, are they really sattva guna oriented or not the other way? So it is not just purifying the eating food, but seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, everywhere this sattva guna can be incorporated, all the inputs. But mind you, so far I am speaking of the external elements only, where the purification is brought in. The next step comes that when we are experiencing something, what is happening to that experience? The moment it is experienced, is it not a knowledge in us? Is it not a jnana in us? Suppose I have seen something. Finally, the seeing object might be outside, but when I have seen, that impression is within us, that I have seen something. Now, there the question of purifying in the internal level coming in. For example, suppose you see a person you do not like. Now, the person is a person, you have seen, it is all phenomenal, you have seen the person coming in, your eyes have seen, up to that is external. But the moment the knowledge of I have seen this person and you connect to it, your memory and your influence about it, and you do not like the person, the moment that dislike is connected, then what is it causing? It is causing a blamefulness, a tension, a stress, a dislike, a distraction in your mind. Suppose it was seeing, just you see the camera, you don't have any feeling. So the sight of the camera will not disturb you. You are seeing a camera has nothing to do with you. It will disturb you, suppose it is your camera or you are connected to it and then the camera is broken suddenly. Then that seeing will upset you. Because again inside it is my camera which has got broken, immediately you feel affected by that. So it is one thing is that element outside, another thing is the knowledge by whenever we are experiencing anything, that experience is translated into a knowledge, And that knowledge is polluted by our ragadvesha. Our ragadvesha means likes and dislikes. We cling to what we like and we hate what we dislike. We are intolerant about what we dislike. So in everything, as soon as we are experiencing in our within, it is getting polluted by the ragadvesha. Think well whether you have understood, otherwise here we cannot know whether you have understood or not. Otherwise I would have repeated. But this, if you know that, then how do you purify that knowledge part of it? It is very simple. All along whatever we have been discussing, that we have to sublimate our raga and dvesha, our clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. So the whole sadhana boils down to removal of raga dvesha, as Bhagavad Gita repeatedly says. By that what is happening? The experiences, after coming inside, it gets completely purified. If you do not have the raga dvesha, then all the experiences, they become phenomenal. That is, Triguna is working, the whole world is working, whatever is coming to your front, you are seeing, whatever sound is coming, you are hearing, and whatever to be done according to that, you will be doing. The whole disturbance caused in the mind is taken care of. Now, further, what is our spiritual method or upasana, as I explained earlier, that method? What do we do? If it is Vedantic, then we try to think that everything is Atma. And if we are doing upasana, then we try to think everything is my Ishtadeva. Say, I am a Shiva upasaka, so everything is Shiva. There is nothing other than that. So when the enemy comes, the inimical feeling about him was polluting my knowledge about the vision. The whatever we have seen, that was causing distraction, agitation, because it is that enemy feeling in us. The moment you impose our Ishtadeva there or Atma there, then completely that inimical feeling is going. It is getting smoothened, it is getting completely sublimated, and you are freed of the disturbance. So actually we have to see that what is the whole sadhana? The whole sadhana is expansion of the mind and making the mind uniform, sama. See, ultimate truth is sama only. When the mind becomes the Atma, what happens? The whole world remains. It goes on playing in the same mind. But the samatva of the mind makes everything appearing in the Atma alone, in the consciousness alone. And what is hindering everything, having everything as Atma? What is the hindrance? Where lies the hindrance? The hindrance is in ragadvesha, nowhere else. Otherwise, this variety appearing in the consciousness we should understand very well. Even now also we can understand, because all that we are interacting after they appear in our mind, only we are interacting. They may be outside or not. In the mind, they are appearing, and what we are interacting with is the world appearing in the consciousness. So that world is make of consciousness. We can understand intellectually, but that will not give us the fruit of it, the result of it. Because we have developed ragadvesha for the worldly things. We are clinging to certain things which is me and mine and which I like, and intolerant about which are not mine and which we do not like. That is hindering the final maturation of our everything appearing on the Atma. Not that the difference will not be seen, but they will not cause any ragadvesha in our mind at all. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyeshcharan atmavashair vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. That is why I am saying this. Bhagavad Gita clearly says that a person whose mind has become freed of ragadvesha, he is moving in the same world of same objects amongst the so-called enemy and friend and mine and others, With the same sense organs he is perceiving the world. Ragadvesha viyuktaihi. Vishayan indriyashcharan. He is interacting with the same Vishaya. But there is a great paradigm shift. What is that? Atmavash. He is not slave to the world. That something goes wrong in the world, immediately I lose my self-centeredness, I get agitated, I become intolerant about it. If something happens which I am attracted to, I forget everything and run after that and do something wrong also. So we are slave to the world. That slavery completely goes if we are freed of the ragadvesha. So is it not the greatest gain in human life? How can we take it in a small way? We are not able to value it. That is why. This evaluation is extremely important. When you value this properly, then only your sadhana will work. Until you value it, the sadhana will remain insipid. It will not become powerful. This valuing is what is meant by Shraddha. That is why Bhagavad Gita says, Shraddha mayoyam purushaha yo yat shraddha saeva saha. A man can be called an embodiment of Shraddha. Whatever his Shraddha, he becomes that. Now, if you want to become the self, if you want to realize your real identity, then you have to understand the value of it. Not understanding the value of it, we are running after small joy, small love, because we are not understanding what is the joy in loving everybody, whether he is a criminal or an enemy or not, it doesn't matter. Love is our own, it oozes forth from within. We don't know the value of it, we don't know the joy of it, the placidity of it, the prasada. What is this prasada? The Shastras are talking about. That is why we are running after small things, thinking that will fulfill me, this will fulfill me. My son, if he makes a very good result, then I will be fulfilled. But what happens after very good result? He goes to a foreign country and he never cares about looking after it. And then it becomes only a dukkha. But you are not thinking. This is where the Viveka works. Viveka need not always think of permanent and impermanent. Yes, it has to think of, but not an elementary stage or middle stage also. It has to always discriminate what will take me to the permanent goal. What is the path of the permanent goal? Shreyas. That is the Viveka. So this Shuddhi, actually that Vishuddhi or purification, it is one thing is to choose the external life, our whatever dress we are wearing, whatever we are eating, whatever articles we are keeping in the room. Unnecessarily we cluttered the room with various things. If we cluttered the whole room around, will our mind also not remain cluttered? It will be absolutely cluttered. How can you find out God there or Atma there? Atma will be lost in that clutter. So one is to choose everything, our external life, in a manner that everything is sattvic and purified. Another is to, when we are experiencing the world, that the knowledge coming within, the experience within, that has to be purified. How? By removing ragadvesha, removing likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes will be there. So, any good thing will you not like, bad thing will you not dislike. But clinging to what like and getting agitated if that like is not had, and hating what we dislike and getting agitated by even a vision of that dislike thing, that is that intolerance about what is disliked. They have to go. Then we will be 90% of the spiritual sadhana is done, because you have removed the obstacles on the way to attain the unity in diversity, which is the truth. The whole world of infinite variety is appearing in the consciousness, the one and transcendental consciousness. That is the ultimate realization. That is held up, that is prevented by our minds, likes and dislikes, intolerance and clinging. So that is the real purity to be attained. No, it won't go by taking water. So, ahara shuddhi in its finer sense is experiencing the world without the polluting effect of ragadvesha. Experiencing the world without the polluting effect of ragadvesha, or eliminating the polluting effect of ragadvesha within. That is the ahara shuddhi. Ahara is always going on. You can adjust the outside also, but even with all the outside choice also, if everything is very sattvic, your food is also very sattvic, but going inside, if it gives rise to the ragadvesha, then your mind will not get unified to experience the self, to get established in the self. Experience you can have, but establishment, getting nishtha, what we call it, it's Paramatma nishtha or the Atma nishtha, both are same. Atma and Paramatma, they are not different. Even Brahma nishtha, that is also not different, same. That nishtha, the word means nisheshena tishtati. That means there is no residue left. Nishtha is such that it is a wholesome dedication to that. There is nothing other left. When we are wholesomely dedicated to the Atma, the whole world becomes Atma. There is nothing other than Atma at all. And this otherness is the ultimate disease. That is, as long as we have that there is something different from me, so long the Atma cannot be had. Because in the Atma there is no second, there is no different anything. Now let us go to a few more shlokas. The same thing I would recite, which, as you saw that in the Bhagavad Gita, Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayan Indriyeshcharan. What is the shloka number? 2.64. Atmavashair, he is Atmavash, not Vishayavash, I was explaining. Vidheyatma, he is not guided and controlled by outer discipline, outer laws, and it's not necessary. They are necessary for our social, religious life and all. Once you are in tune with the infinite, then that is the law of harmony which will guide you. There is not a control anymore. By control, no change can take place. The control is not the real effort. It has to become natural. Everything has to become natural, harmonious. So, Atmavashair Vidhe Atma Prasadam Adhigacchati. Adhigacchati, he completely have the grasp of the prasada. He will be flooded with the placidity. Now, similar in the next day, I will go over to the chariot example, which is very important in Kathopanishad. But before that, I thought a similar few verses, which I don't remember whether I had done already yesterday. See how beautifully Narada said that after saying what he knew, when Sanat Kumara asked him, what do you know? Before I tell you some Upadesha, give you some message, you tell me what you know. I told you the last day. What Narada said, he knew everything. All the Vedas, all the Vedangas, even Nakshatra Vidya, Jyotir Vidya, everything on earth he knew. All the subjects. But saying that, what did he say? He says, Mantra Videva asmi. Mantravid eva asmi. Mantravid eva asmi. Na Atmavid. I am only a mantravid, not Atmavid. I have known all these mantras, but I don't know my real identity. How did he say that? He said that Rishis, I have heard from the Rishis like you, Sanat Kumara, but he did not say. He said, I have heard from the Rishis that Tarati Shokam Atmavid. A person who knows the self, he overcomes, he crosses over the ocean of grief. I still have grief, so I am not an Atmavid. See how from the result one deduces where he is. As I said that if Vairagya is not coming, then you throw away your Viveka. That is not real Viveka, that is only theoretical Viveka you have. With that you study some physics or something where Viveka is very important, but not spirituality. Spirituality, Viveka must give rise to Vairagya, otherwise it is not Viveka. The result, from the result we have to test. If you are advancing on the path of spirituality, it must give rise to unaffectedness. The small things which were affecting you previously should not affect you so much, should not upset you. These are the points by which we can judge. We are we are advancing in our puja, doing more and more meditation from 5 minutes to half an hour to 1 hour to 3 hours to 5 hours to 8 hours of meditation. But I cannot stand anybody. The moment I come out of the meditation, I start beating him. Even if the small child, grandchild is crying or something, we give a slap. This is what we do. So always we have to find out from the result what is happening. So Narada was a real scholar. He knew that if I am an Atmavid, I should not have the grief, but I suffer from grief. And Sanat Kumara said, yes, as long as you have a second, you will have shoka. So when you know the Atma, this Atma is not going from this body to that body Atma, that is multiple Atma. In whole Upanishads there is no question of any multiple Atma. Only one Atma has been spoken of, and that one is a transcendental one, not a numerical one. So, there Narada says, in the same story, Sanat Kumara says that Bhumaiva sukham nalpe sukham asti yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Bhuma means everything, infinite, where all is encompassed. He says the sukha, which does not give any place to depression or grief. This sukha, when we say, it is there in dukkha also. This prasada word is more appropriate because prasada should be there in suffering as well as happiness. In all conditions it should be there. So, bhumaiva sukham, the real sukha we talk about, the unhindered permanent happiness we call, but it is not like the usual happiness, it is the placidity of the mind, uniformity of the mind. It is there in bhuma, when it becomes all. When all means there is no second, then only it becomes the Atma. When we realize it, there cannot be any second. Nalpe sukham asti. Alpa means where there is a limit, there is a boundary. So as long as even the subject and the object, the I, the Atma and the world is different, there is a boundary, there are two. It has not become one. Sukham cannot be had. The ultimate sukham cannot be had in that case. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. What is the definition of this sukha? It is not this small impermanent sukhas that the Shastras are speaking about. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. That which encompasses everything, that itself is called sukham. That is also there in Narada. Now, last day I had taken from Mundakopanishad. I will just repeat, you can chant following me if my throat permits. Yat tadadreshyam agrahyan
यत्तदद्रेश्यमग्राह्यम्
अगोत्रमवर्णम्
अगोत्रमवर्णम्
अचक्षुश्रोत्रं तदपाणिपादम्
अचक्षुश्रोत्रं तदपाणिपादम्
नित्यं विभुं सर्वगतं सुसूक्ष्मम्
नित्यं विभुं सर्वगतं सुसूक्ष्मम्
तदव्ययं यद्भूतयोनिं परिपश्यन्ति धीराः
तदव्ययं यद्भूतयोनिं परिपश्यन्ति धीराः.
The first two lines I had explained last time. Yat tad adreshyam agrahyam agotram avarnam. This line, the whole pada, I said that it is vastu guna varjita. Vastu guna varjita. That means devoid of all parameters of an object, qualities of an object, or devoid of all object qualities. Why? Because an object can be seen or felt or heard. All the sense organs, it can be, at least in one of the sense organs, it should be perceptible, perceived by the sense organs, or it can be grasped by the organs of action. Agrahyam means it cannot be grasped by any of the karmendriyas. Agotram means which has a causal chain. You can find out where from it has come. You can question that who is your parent, who are your parents, where from did you come, or even if the camera has come here, where from did the camera come, who has made it, who has fabricated it. All these questions can be asked for the objects, anything in the universe. That is why they talk about Big Bang theory and all, that where from the universe has come. So you can go on asking the question. But this truth, Atma, does not have any such qualities. So you cannot describe it by any of these qualities. Not only that, achakshushotram tadapanipadam. Neither it has the sense organs nor the organs of action. Panipadam, hands, legs, eyes, ears. Eyes, ears are the sense organs, and hands and feet, they are the organs of action. This I said that it means the Atma is devoid of Kartri Bhoktri Bhava. That means doership and enjoyership. Mark my words. Kartri Bhoktri Guna Varjita. The first one is Vastu Guna Varjita. The second one is Kartri Bhoktri Guna Varjita. First one is devoid of object qualities. The second one is it does not have any doership or enjoyership. It cannot enjoy, it cannot do anything. I compared with the Jagannatha Murti with that after all going through all the pilgrimage spots, you go to Puri Jagannath and find that he doesn't have hand, doesn't have leg, even the vision is blank. Then comes Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam Susukshmam. Now here again we have to apply the same kind of vichara as I explained earlier. Nityam means actually which is always present in time, which never, Nitya means permanent, which never goes. But immediately you should remember what I have been explaining for all these days. There cannot be any permanent thing in the world. The whole universe is not permanent. We are saying permanent because of lack of word. Actually it means it is beyond time. It cannot be measured by time. It transcends time. Time is a cycle. It is going on. It is beyond time. It is transcending time. This Nityam means transcending time. Vibhum. Vibhum means it contains all the forms. That is circle, rectangle, this way, that way, crooked, straight. Not only that, it includes formlessness also. We generally say the God is formless. No, it is formless as well as formful. Being formless, it has given rise to all kinds of forms, infinite forms. So it means it encompasses infinite types of forms as well as Formlessness. Sarvagatam. Now Sarvagatam means all pervading. If there is all, then only something will pervade all, na? There is nothing. The whole thing is consciousness alone. The whole universe is made of consciousness appearing in consciousness alone. Just like in hologram, you see that pillars are there, a palace is there, people are going. It's nothing is there, it's all light. You can walk through the pillars. Nothing will happen to you. It's all made of light. It's a three-dimensional in light. Now, Sarvagatam means, as such, the word means which penetrates everything, pervades everything, percolates everything. But here we have to know that it is not percolating everything, but it is beyond space and everything is in it. Not that it is in everything, everything is in it. This way you will understand the Bhagavad Gita most. Contradictory statement, people have question about it, that I am there, they are not in me, and I am not in them. In 2 shlokas like that, you will understand this. Not that he is percolating everything, everything is in him. Susukshmam, it is the most subtle. When we are saying most subtle, you will again think, oh, it is air is subtler than the water, space is subtler than air. So you are thinking in terms of the objects again to find out what is the subtle. As if the Atma one day will know, oh, it is even subtler than the space. No. Subtler means it pervades everything, even the space and the concept of the space and the concept of the God or jnana, ajnana, everything is appearing in that consciousness. So is it not the subtlest in that sense? It is a subject, so it is not an object that you can find out in which way it is subtler than the subtlest, like that. This subtlety is the subtlety of the ultimate truth, which is our own identity on which the whole world is appearing to be. So nothing can be there without that. Tad abhyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. This I have explained in great detail, even I will just mention once. That what are these descriptions? In these 3 lines, everything is negated. The objectivization is negated. Doership, enjoyership is negated. Time, space, subtlety, everything is negated. Who is this? This is about our real identity they are talking. Now he says the last word is great in meaning. Abhyayam yat bhuta yonim. This is the yoni of the bhuta. That means whatever we see in the form of the objective universe, this is the source, not in the usual meaning of source. It is the womb of that, but not with the usual meaning. What is the usual meaning? Any source which gives rise to a product, by that there will be a depletion of the source. There will be a change in the source. The source will not remain the same. Here that is why he has pointed out that abhyayam yad bhuta yonim, being the source of the entire universe. Abhyaya, there is no change in this source. So what kind of a source? You cannot think of such a source in the universe at all. Giving rise to 3 galaxies, no change. 1 galaxy has not come out of it, becoming less there. No change at all. Even the whole universe is destroyed also, no change. If a whole universe springs again, no change at all. Why? Because it is the consciousness in which the whole universe is appearing to be. Just like in dream, when a huge palace appears in your consciousness, it just appears. And again, next moment it just vanishes. There is no causality, nothing. No material is needed at all. So this is what I explained the other day. That is why in the absolute level, the universe is called a vivatta srishti, not a parinama srishti. Within the universe, everything is parinama srishti. Everything is coming from a cause, and whenever an effect is born, the cause undergoes a change. But in the absolute level, this principle will not work. It is beyond causality, beyond time. It is called Vivatta Srishti, apparent Srishti, apparential creation or apparent creation. It just appears in the consciousness. Paripashyanti dhiraha. Dhiras see only that, because the whole world is in consciousness only. They don't see anything other than the Atma in the world. Okay. One person who had said that I should take one Upanishad sloka after sloka has got defeated in the election. Because whatever feedbacks we have got, they all said that no, that is already there in your YouTube, so better. When otherwise also it is better the way you are going. So I will go the same way until many people say that no, this is not the way I want, we want in another way. See, all these things, you can take lot of examples to have some clarity, but they will not take you to the ultimate. Suppose this electricity, simple thing, electricity. It is appearing as the fan, as the light, as the sound, and so many ways it can appear. Now, is the electricity a fan movement? Is the electricity light? Is the electricity a sound? What it is? It is like just the Vibhu. It is taking all these forms. Somewhere it is appearing, suppose it is appearing here in the fan. Now if the fan, the coil gets disconnected, then the fan will stop. Will anything happen to the electricity? Anything will happen to the electricity? It will not get manifest through the fan, that's all. Exactly like that, when the body, something goes wrong in it, our usual awareness of the body, which is body dependent awareness, which depends on our, we say Chedavasa, on our brain, that part will not function, but nothing will happen to the ultimate soul, universal soul. It is whenever the body is functioning, it is manifesting through the body. But it is not associated with the body, really speaking. It is not limited by the body at all. It is not an object like that. Next day, I don't know, we will take up it, because many people have again asked about the Atma and all. So I thought one day I will take fully about Atma, next day I will take, so that this curiosity goes. Explain in whatever manner I can. We have longer time now, 1.5 hours, so I think I will be able to try to do it elaborately. That what is this Atma and our usual religious concept of Atma, and having the religious concept of the Atma also, how we can understand and which realm it belongs to. Everything we will try to discuss. There are many questions on that. Om Sahana Vavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu.
Sahano Bhunaktu.
Sahano Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
Om Shanti Shanti शांति शांति।
ओम शांति शांति शांति।